Hello students, how are you? So in the previous video of the chapter soil, we have completed all the topics. The last topic that we did was the soil erosion. Okay, so in today's video we will be discussing what you have learned, and we will be looking at the exercise questions of the chapter. Okay, but before moving on to the what you have learned, let's take a look at this blue box about soil erosion, what is given in the NCERT. The removal of land surface by water, wind, or ice is known as erosion. Plant roots firmly bind the soil. I told you that the vegetation or the plants that are in particular area, they bind the soil. In the absence of plants, soil becomes loose, so it can be moved by wind and flowing water. Erosion of soil is most severe in areas of little or no surface vegetation, such as desert or bare lands. So cutting of trees and deforestation should be prevented, and efforts should be made to increase the green areas. Okay, because I told you that the roots of the plants, they hold the soil and does not allow the soil to flow with the water or at wind, etc. But it is given that soil erosion is more severe in the areas of little or no surface vegetation, means where the vegetation is very low or absolutely negligible. Okay, so this is soil erosion. Now the keywords of this chapter: clay, humus, loamy, percolation, moisture, sandy, and water retention. We have discussed all of this. Water retention means how much water can be retained by the soil or held by the soil. Okay. Moisture, we have discussed already, amount of water present in the water vapor present in the air. Okay, now let's move on to what you have learned. First point is soil is important for life on the earth. Yes, it is true. Soil profile is a section through different layers of the soil. Various layers are called horizons. Okay, we have discussed that in the diagram also: A horizon, B horizon, and C horizon in the bedrock. Soil is of different types: clayey, loamy, sandy, and we have discussed also silt soil. Okay, we discussed about its property also. So it is of different types: clayey, loamy, sandy, and silt soil. Percolation rate. Percolation rate of water is different in different types of soil. It is highest in the sandy soil and least in the clayey soil. Okay. Next, different types of soils are used to cultivate different types of crops. Clay and loam are suitable for growing wheat, gram, and paddy. Cotton is grown in sandy loam soil. Okay, why is it so that different types of soils are used to cultivate different types of crops? We discussed because of their different characteristics or properties. Okay, so because we discussed that the water holding capacity, the size of particles, these are different for different types of soils. Okay, so this largely depends the type of crop that are grown in that type of soil. Okay, so that's why different soils are grown in different types of different types of crops are grown in different types of soils. Next is soil holds water in it, which is called soil moisture. The capacity of a soil to hold water is important for various crops. Clay soil is used to make pots, toys, and statues. Okay, read this point again, beta, and then we will be discussing the exercise. Exercise. First question is: in addition to the rock particles, the soil contains first air and water, second water and plants, third minerals, organic matter, air and water, fourth water, air and plants. In addition to the rock particles, the soil contains. The correct answer is third: minerals, organic matter, air and water. Okay. Second question: The water holding capacity is the highest in sandy soil, clayey soil, loamy soil, fourth mixture of sand and loam. It is asking the water holding capacity is highest in. Correct answer is B, clayey soil. Okay. So for the first, the correct option is third, minerals, organic matter, air and water, and for the second it is clayey soil. Third question is, match the items in column 1 with those in column 2. Column 1 is a home for living organisms, second is upper layer of the soil, third is sandy soil, fourth middle layer of the soil, fifth clayey soil. There are different options given and you have to match the correct one. Okay, so let's start one by one. First one, a home for living organisms. The correct match will be B, all kinds of soil. Second, upper layer of the soil. Upper layer of the soil, and the correct match will be C, dark in color, because of presence of the humus. Okay, so upper layer of the soil is dark in color. Third, sandy soil. We have discussed that the particles of the sandy soil are very large, so the correct match will be A. For sandy soil it will be large particles. Okay. Fourth, middle layer of the soil. Middle layer of the soil. The correct option that is matching is that is E, lesser amount of humus. Lesser amount of humus. Fifth is clayey soil. For the fifth, the correct option remains is small particles and packed tight, clayey soil. Okay. So the first one, a home for living organisms, all kinds of soil. Upper layer of the soil, dark in color. Sandy soil, large particles. Middle layer of the soil, lesser amount of humus. Clayey soil, small particles and packed tight. Okay. Next is, explain how soil is formed. The answer is, soil is formed due to weathering of rocks. Full stop. Soil is formed due to weathering of rocks. Full stop. Weathering is a process of physical breakdown and chemical decomposition of minerals, primarily due to the action of water, wind and climatic changes. Primarily due to water, wind and climatic changes. Full stop. In weathering, the rocks are broken to small pieces. In weathering, the rocks are broken to small pieces and eventually forms a layer of soil. Next question is, how is clayey soil useful for crops? How is clayey soil useful for crops? Answer, the clayey soil is useful for crops as, first point, it has excellent water holding capacity. Second, it is rich in organic contents and nutrients. Third, water holding capacity of clayey soil helps the growth of crops like paddy, which require more water to grow. Clear? So this is how clay soil is useful for crops. Next question beta, list the differences between clayey soil and sandy soil. List the differences between clayey soil and sandy soil. First point, in clayey soil, particles are finer. In sandy soil, particles are larger. Second point, water holding capacity is high. In clay soil, water holding capacity is high. Sandy soil does not hold much amount of water. Does not hold much amount of water. Third, clayey soil, rich in organic contents, humus and nutrients. Rich in organic contents, nutrients and humus. Sandy soil, very little amount of organic content, nutrients and humus. Next point in clay soil, particles are tightly packed. Particles are tightly packed. In sandy soil, particles are loosely packed. Particles are loosely packed. Next point in clay, little amount of air is trapped between the particles. Little amount of air is trapped between the particles. Sandy soil, more amount of air is trapped between the particles. More amount of air is trapped between the particles. Hence, it is well aerated. Hence, it is well aerated. Next point in clay soil, it is heavy in weight. It is heavy in weight. And sandy soil, it is light in weight. Okay, so these are the differences between clay soil and sandy soil. Seventh, sketch the cross section of soil and label the various layer. In this question, we tell students the diagram of that horizon that we discussed now, different types of horizon, A horizon, B horizon, C horizon. Okay, that will come, and you have to label the various levels like bedrock and the topmost layer, humus containing, like that. Okay, so that is the sketch the cross section of a soil. Question number 8. Razia conducted an experiment in the field related to the rate of percolation. She observed that it took 40 minutes for 200 ml of water to percolate through the soil sample. Calculate the rate of percolation. Read the question again. She conducted an experiment in the field related to the rate of percolation. What does she observe? She observed that it took 40 minutes for 200 ml of water to percolate through the soil sample. Calculate the rate of percolation. Now, what is the formula for rate of percolation? Amount of water percolated in ml divided by time taken in minutes. Okay, so the solution will be as follows. First, amount of water, that will be equal to 200 ml. Okay, then time taken is equals to 40 minutes. Then the formula will become rate of percolation is equals to amount of water in ml divided by time taken in minutes. Okay, so in the next line it will be 200 divided by 40. So the answer will become 5 ml per minute. So the rate of percolation that will come out to be 5 ml per minute. Okay, students, the rate of percolation, the answer will be 5 ml per minute. How? Because we have to divide the amount of water in ml divided by the time taken. Okay. Next, question number 9. Explain how soil pollution and soil erosion could be prevented. Explain how soil pollution and soil erosion can be prevented. So first, about soil pollution. Answer: soil pollution can be prevented in following ways. Soil pollution can be prevented in following ways. First, stop the use of plastics or polybags. Stop the use of plastic or polybags. Second, by controlling the use of chemical fertilizers chemical fertilizers and pesticides, by controlling the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, we can reduce the amount of soil pollution, or we can reduce the soil pollution. Okay. Next, soil erosion could be prevented by, soil erosion can be prevented by, first point, by planting more and more trees, by planting more and more trees in a region. Second, by not cutting the trees, and preventing overgrazing of animals, by not cutting the trees, or you can say by stopping deforestation and stopping overgrazing of animals. Okay. So these are the two ways in which soil erosion could be prevented. So this concludes the exercise as well as the chapter here. Okay students, revise the chapter again, complete this exercise. Okay. In the next video we will be starting the new chapter. Till then students, keep studying, take care of yourselves and stay inside your houses. Okay. Thank you and have a nice day.